All right, totally rewarding chats. The holiday hang edition. Paul, for those who aren't on video, Paul has disappointed me with his lack of holiday gear for the show. So I'm a little bummed out.
If you walked through my house and took stock of decorations, you would be similarly disappointed, in part because I'm not a decorator at all,
Oh.
really. Like, maybe I'm a Scrooge. Like, maybe it's time I own
Well,
up
you
to
can
this.
tell
Like,
this
I
is
am that.
I earned my grumpy hat. This was definitely my hat. For those that aren't watching, I decided to put the Christmas hat on. The reindeer glasses, those I'm not sure where they came from. Those just popped up. But the grumpy hat I have earned over the years, specifically for the time period between Halloween and Thanksgiving.
Yeah.
That is not okay. So,
Yeah. That's been my wife's favorite story to tell over the past month. So here in Chicago, there is a radio station that flips to all Christmas music all the time, and their magic day, I believe, is November 1st. It's as soon as Halloween ends, it flips. And to her claim, it's an adjacent radio station to one that she would listen to normally, and she claims she accidentally sort of flipped it to that station. But I got in the car, we were taking the kids somewhere, and on popped the Christmas music, and I was like aggressively pounding on that dial, like, no,
no,
this
not
is
yet.
not allowed until afternoon of Thanksgiving Day. That's the way I run my
Oh, the
life.
afternoon. Okay.
Afternoon, that's right. Like the morning is still football and Thanksgiving, and then the afternoon you're allowed to start transitioning into the Christmas season for those who celebrate Christmas. And I am a dogma. I get it. That's just me, and I'm accepting of that.
So today's flow for people that are listening in a little different. We don't have a guest. What we're gonna do is we're gonna because we always give others the speed round. Although I'm a little concerned because I think we're not quite 50 episodes in. We'll have to do a thing when we get to 50. But I have never been on the receiving end of the speed round. This will be your second time at the speed
True.
round because you were an early guest back in
That's
the
true.
days before we lured you in to co-host. And so we're going to do a speed round, and then in the holiday themes, we're going to have some stockings, which a couple small things that we're talking about 25, 26. The big gifts of what we're thinking about, not quite prognostication because
That's
we
right.
have another episode coming with Mr. Briscoe on that, and then the lump of coal, the Grinch moment that as we look forward to.
I feel like I
So
just exposed mine, maybe, but
yeah, so I think we can just swap out. It's interesting now, so people will realize we both said we're going to do the usual 5 questions, but we don't know what the other speed round questions are. So I am definitely going to have to get rid of these glasses though.
you can't see what you need to see with the glasses
So
on.
hit me with the first one. What do you got?
All right, the first speed round question for you. Maybe it's just confirming what I've already confirmed for myself. When do the decorations come out? Like
Yeah,
specifically the holiday decorations, when do they
day
show up in the
after.
Luchin's house?
So day
Day
after
after
Thanksgiving.
Thanksgiving?
Yeah, I should have said day after Christmas. That would be ultimate Scrooge mode.
That's
But
right.
no, the day after Thanksgiving, she will start to pop some stuff in now and again. And we host Thanksgiving. So because our kids are off the payroll and families far away, I've kind of softened in my old age. I know I'm supposed to get grumpier, but I have softened a little bit. But to your point, that all Christmas music thing, no chance until after Thanksgiving dinner. I do allow, then they put on the Boston Pops or something. But yeah, I'm definitely I'm with you on that one.
Totally. Totally there.
Where are you guys celebrating this year? Are you guys? That's my first round. Hopefully, easy one. Then again, you might not know.
Everything will be here at our place. We are the hosts, not the travelers at all this year. Anything that's happening is coming to us.
Okay, that was my first one. All
Yeah.
right, what do you got?
So now you can tell I have a preference for Thanksgiving. So there's a Thanksgiving theme here. Like, what's the best part of the Thanksgiving meal for you?
I'm stuffing. Like
Stuffing. All
I
right.
can eat like just stuffing. Um, yeah. I like turkey. It's okay. And then actually a couple years ago where I run by this turkey farm.
Mm-hmm.
Um, and they're great. So for like 50 yards, they would run with me or squawk. And it was like having my own
You're
fan club.
racing the
Yeah.
turkeys.
And it was the first year we were here. I was until a week before Thanksgiving.
Yeah. Then they're not chasing you anymore.
They weren't there.
Yeah. Exactly.
Yeah. And I was like, and I'm like, oh, sad for me. And then I'm like, Way sadder for them. Your favorite Christmas song?
Favorite Christmas song? Oh goodness. It is definitely not the Mariah Carey "All I Want for Christmas Is You." That one drives me absolute crazy. I think I'm gonna have to go. Um, Gosh, I should have been more prepared for that. I'm a music guy, so there's a
I
lot of
know. That's why
songs
I
that I
thought
really, really
this was a
like.
gimme.
Um, I'm gonna go very current actually right now, and stump maybe for some friends of mine. I'm a big fan of a cappella music in addition to playing in a
Yep.
band. And there's a band called Straight No Chaser with Indiana
Yes.
roots that has done a cover of Grandma Got Run Over by a Reindeer, but they've changed the tone of it to be, let's just say a little less jolly because
Yep.
Grandma got run over by a reindeer. And
No.
I'm a big fan of the musicality and the interpretation that went into that one.
So I don't know. Hopefully, this won't be a question. That would have been "Grandma Got Run Over by Reindeer" is my favorite Christmas song. I don't know what that says. And then I heard their version, and "Straight No Chaser" is great,
Yeah,
right? So there's some great a cappella Christmas albums by them and Pentatonics that just
totally.
change. That if you don't like a cappella, then it's crazy.
Yeah. Um, your preferred festive drink?
Oh, I
Eggnog,
love
mulled
I
wine.
love eggnog. First of all, I think mulled wine, glue wine, as it would be over there, is one
Yep.
of the grossest things ever. Like 600 years ago, they warmed it up for all the right reasons, and now we're drinking it for all the wrong reasons. But I'm an eggnog person, and prior to Crohn's, I definitely the rum and eggnog was the way to go.
If you're
So
gonna
I'm
do it
definitely
right.
eggnog. So do you guys have gifts before or after breakfast? How does the morning work?
We definitely do not get away with not opening the gifts right away. I've got little kids, right? So you jump right in. The good news is because we are the hosts, we've got like multiple rounds through the day, right? So like
Okay.
the Santa mom dad round happens before the grandma grandpa uncle round, and
It
breakfast
sounds like a
does
tough
come
gig
in
for the
between.
kids. Multiple rounds of gifts.
Yeah, it's a tough situation, but they find a way to survive. What time is bedtime on New Year's Eve / New Year's early morning?
Oh gosh. So for those people who know me, 10 o'clock rarely happens twice a day. Um, the way we have spent New Year's in the past, way years ago, now it's probably 10ish. I don't stay up. I do make it to London, just to be fair. 7. We used to stay in and do a project. And the project I think mostly she supervised and I did. So it'd be new floors, new carpet, wall stuff.
Sure.
And that way I could stay up through. But as the kids got older, I'd go to bed and then have to get up and go get them, right? At some point because they were staying up past me. But
Sure.
no, I'm a notorious early riser, 4 or 5 in the morning. And people are like, oh my God. I'm like, but I will admit, I do not see 11 o'clock unless there's a reason twice a day, like
Yeah.
11 for sure. Um, so the only workish type question I have for you, believer in holiday bonuses or no?
I am a believer. I think that they play a role in celebrating and equipping people to have the celebrations that they want to have. I think I've seen some really cool things that it's not cash. Like you give them the turkey, you provide
Oh,
pie, right? Like there's ways that you can support what you believe your employees might be celebrating that isn't just cash. But I do think there's something special around the time of year. Like as much as I'm a curmudgeon and don't let it happen before Thanksgiving, like I understand
yeah.
sort of the magic of the season, and I do think there's a place for those types of things.
Yeah, I am up to a point. So one, if it's too much, people start to plan on it. But if it's small enough but surprising-ish,
Totally.
it can go a long ways because obviously even a couple $100 or $100 offsets holiday stuff. And it was just kind of unplanned. Once you get big enough, people start to plan on it or think there's something coming. So
Yeah.
that to me is always the catch 22 in there.
Yeah, totally. What is your favorite family holiday moment between the Thanksgiving to New Year's sort of window of time? What's the thing that you and the family will do that you're just looking forward to every year?
I married the PK. That's the preacher's kid for those who haven't been out there, who's also the church organist. But I love Christmas Eve service. Granted, we go to the 7 o'clock one because the 11 or 12 o'clock one does
Just
not
too late.
happen for me. But I do love, I do think that for me is the thing. And the whole family goes and what have you. And then people come and hang after So for me, that is a big one, despite having the kids and the Christmas and the whatever, but that is kind of a non-gifty type of time to be thankful about things. So
Sure.
that for me, I'm a little different. What is your favorite Christmas movie?
Favorite Christmas movie? I'm gonna go with Elf, just because
Okay.
I think it's hilarious. It is. There's two movies I should put out there that are Christmas movies that I will allow my kids to watch before Thanksgiving, and it's Elf and Home Alone.
Okay.
Elf because it's not really a Christmas. I mean, there's Christmas about it, but it's not about Christmas, right? It's not like it's not like a Hallmark movie.
Yeah.
It's just fun, and same with Home Alone. Like it sort of
Yeah.
takes place around Christmas, but
Well,
it's
that
not
begs
really a
the
Christmas.
question, though. It's a sixth question that I wasn't planning on. Is
The Die
Die
Hard
Hard a
question.
Christmas movie?
Die Hard is absolutely not a Christmas movie. So you can see even
I'm on the other hill.
see
It's totally a Christmas movie.
if Home Alone is only barely a Christmas movie because it happens at Christmas time, but the plot has zero to do essentially, other than the fact that he was left home. I guess plot spoiler, but everybody's seen that movie, right? Like
I've never thought, to be honest, when debating this, I have never thought about ruining the movie for anyone about Die Hard. Like, if you haven't seen it by now,
yeah, shame on you.
like cover your ears. We're gonna give it away. That never crossed my mind for
Yeah,
doing that.
no, I'm definitely on. Die Hard is not a Christmas movie. Just because it
Oh,
occurs during Christmas does not make it a Christmas movie.
oh, see, I'm different. I think that's my favorite Christmas movie.
Well,
Um,
just because there aren't that many other good ones. Like, let's be honest. And I have a long running like feud against the Hallmark style sort of Christmas movies.
well, actually, the other one is not a year without a Santa Claus. The Heat Miser and Cold Miser, like that's the thing too. That'd be the
Yeah.
other one.
Although, as much as I say Elf 2, I will watch A Christmas Story. You know how they like repeat it on certain cable channels
Yeah.
for like the 48 hours of Christmas Eve.
Yeah.
We will keep it on repeat and watch it every time because that's another one that just gets me. Like I
There's
just
some good ones.
love
This
some
is
of them.
down a track. And I got to take as we move I'm going to use this opportunity to get rid of the
To
crazy warm hat that's on here and move off to our stuff. So if we start with actually, do you guys start with stockings and then do gifts? Do gifts and stockings?
I think the kids open the stockings last, but yes, there are stockings there.
It's
They're
funny.
just not as exciting, right?
We were stockings, breakfast, gifts. So kind of interesting. It's always interesting. Like it's all gets done, but like, so hence, since I am OCD and had to send kind of the semi agenda, we're doing stockings first. So what's your small thing? And I think of it more smaller as we look into 2026 for people to think about kind of, more workish. I mean, it could be not work, I guess, but
Yeah.
when you think about comp world,
Yeah. Well, I have to theme this one into sort of the smaller gift that people are receiving is the smaller increases, right? Like so it's navigating wave 1 of 2026 for all of us is navigating smaller budgets. Right, which is a deeper trend or a more specific trend I think this year than the past, right? So how do you talk about it? How do you plan for it? How do you use the money differently? I think it's not a positive thing, but the reality is it's a small thing, right? And we're going to have to figure out how to sort of thoughtfully engage with smaller budgets
Yeah.
for a few months in particular.
I think that one's interesting because I know we get to some of the other stuff later, but I think we've had a couple of years of that though, because we really go other
So
than
it's snapped back for sure. Like it's
yeah, I
come
mean, we
back
had
to
the
where it's
COVID
always
years,
been.
the COVID years where people like throw money at people, and then it really has pendulumed back there. And I think between the uncertainty, the timing, etc., I
Yep.
think that's a really, really good one. I'll add to that for my stocking side, kind of pair with that, is the data piece. So there's so many different data options out there now.
Yeah.
And everyone's pitching that they're super cool. And there's all this other cool data from payroll data to scrape data to you got different surveys, you got interpolated data, you got all this stuff. And to your point that everyone's getting smaller budgets or whatever, fairly consistently over time, but definitely I think this year, comp will get no headcount and we'll get no money. And so I think how people can figure that out
Yeah.
and finding a way to do that would be a gift for some people. I think there's a lot of really cool data that can help you, but like as a vendor and you're at a consultancy, I think most stuff isn't free. And generally I think what comp people have learned over time, if it is free, it's probably rightly free. And so I think that to me that's going to be the thing, the small thing for companies to look at this next year is the data, the positive silver lining of that, the ribbon would be the ribbon, like the instead of the silver lining, the silver ribbon or bow is I don't think numbers are moving. You're not going to have a bunch of budget. So like I think it's a great time to look at other data sources and be able to go because things shouldn't be moving. Like nobody's roles I think are moving a
Yeah.
ton.
Yeah. I
Um,
think that's right.
so as you think about the bigger gift as you go, what would be a bigger gift or something you would like companies to see do really well, be
Yeah.
gifted at Christmas to use in 2026?
Yeah. I was planning to respond differently, which is the gift I hope is given to the comp world is the hype over reality stops around AI. Like, I really want marketing messages to not use AI and tell me what it actually does. That's the gift I want the world to have.
Yeah, that's what this is. This is
Yeah.
wishful thinking.
Yeah.
It's yeah, and I think it is. If that's the gift given to them to use in 2026.
Yeah. Right. The gift would be like real talk about what things can do without all of the buzz and hype and marketing spin. No offense to those that spend some time educating the market. Like, and I'm there too, but there's just too much confusion and too much buzz and not enough reality about this is what it can actually do today and do well. So I'm hoping that's the gift that will, and that'll help people in 26 like make smarter choices. You're not buying on promise, you're buying on like real value that I can get today out of something.
Do you think philosophically, do you think the market's just going to have to go that way? So I think we're in this, if history rhymes, we're in the interwebs when it happened, 20 some years ago, it was going to solve everything, right? And we're kind of, I, I will say I think AI is going to have more of an effect, although the
Sure.
internet had a big effect. But I do think there's a lot of posing out there, doesn't do whatever. I think it's going to come back a little
Yeah,
bit. It's going to have to pull back. Yeah.
totally.
My gift was kind of the communication. So I think communications, but I was thinking of, magically gifting the total rewards teams the ability to communicate all this stuff out there now because, I mean, with equity and transparency and limited budgets and business stuff and not even stuff that's in total rewards, but all the business messaging that's out there and then all the hype of what everything
Yeah.
can do, will they be able to communicate and magically communicate what the real expectations are? Because I do think comp's going to get squeezed in the middle of this. Well, look at all the stuff AI can do. So you need less people, you can do more, you can be more strategic and what have you. But to your point, everyone's hyping it. So what really is real? So they're getting caught on that side. And then they're still having to communicate what's realistic. And communicating what's realistic in a 2% budget is less than fun. And we're gonna fix all pay equity and be transparent, and everyone's gonna get paid equitably, and we're gonna do that whole thing and all for 2%. I don't know that that's a thing. So for me, I'd magically gift Total Rewards a magic communications machine, or just everything was crystal clear. And again, I think I've been on this soapbox. A lot of people in leadership and comp, when they started, comp was a black box, it wasn't part of your job. And even if you're decent at it, they never practiced it. And so now you have to instantly be good at it. And that's a difficult thing to just come back and do. So that'd be mine.
Yeah, that's a good one. That's a good one.
What's your lump of coal?
Yeah, so if we interpret the lump of coal as like you've been naughty and now you've been caught, let's put it that way. I think the right to information stuff in the EU Pay Transparency Act is just gonna ding some people who've been naughty, and now they're getting to get caught with they have to share the information with people.
In
And
2020.
yeah, we're there, man. It
I know
is.
it's interesting because it just magically got like all of a sudden we're like 7 months out. Like,
Correct.
it's like, and it's
Yes.
holiday season. So like literally and actually it's not even that, it's June 6th. Everyone keeps forgetting like June 6th is closer to May than it is July.
Yeah.
I'm no calendar expert, but I'm going to go with that. And like, so you really got 5-6 months
Yeah.
to kind of do what you got to do.
That's right. And I think there's been a lot of discussion about what you will have to report. At least this is from an American perspective. I think on the ground in Europe you get a different answer here, but from an American perspective, a lot of the focus has been what will I have to report? Because our frame is like, oh, is it like EEO1? Is it like what am I going to have to calculate and share? Because we've been through that before. Oh, there's a CEO pay ratio. There's these things that now we have to do math on. We haven't, other than there's some like right to your range, but we've never had the concept of a right to information request requirement
Yeah.
in the US the way that it's written. And, it's one thing to say we have ranges and to publish them, but you could still hide a lot of garbage behind a range.
Yeah.
When you have to report the average of men in this role, women in this role, and where are you in this role, that's a level of transparency that will be uncomfortable for many who have not actively managed this, right? And 6 months is not a lot of time to get it clean enough that you're going to feel good about it.
Yeah, I think or started, and I think there were a bunch of people that were in the ostrich mode until things were crystal clear. And all of a sudden, like they're still not crystal clear in most countries,
Yeah.
and things are changing here. And now you're like, I mean, in my mind, it's kind of like, yeah, I kind of understood where you were 3 years ago, but 2 years ago, I think you should have been like, we kind of know what they're going to ask. Like it's pay equity, it's on gender. Like you can start getting your data together and figuring stuff out. And then, there's too many people, I think, are going to get caught out who are like, well, I'm going to wait till this completely out and do it as a project. And first of all, I know, Nancy hears me say this all the time when we're on the pay equity thing. It's a process, not a project. Like by definition, it's not going to be a do it one time, check the box, see you in 10 years. It's going to be a process. And I think it's a great thing that you bring up, actually. Everyone talks about the analysis, but this right to information, if you don't have a process in place, people are going to come ask, and there's no timeline. Like, is it a week? Is it 2 weeks? How do you have to get it? But you're going to have to get it.
That's right. Yeah, I just think there's lots of articles to the EU Pay Transparency Directive, and a couple of them are about the 5% gap or on the reporting. That doesn't mean there aren't other articles, and Article 7, right to information, is a big deal that I think is the lump of coal waiting to happen. It's like, oh, I have to tell you this every time you want it, which is a big deal. And I lived through when some of the right to, like, the data subject audit stuff happened in Europe several years ago. Like, that was a pain to, like, what am I going to say? How do I make sure I say it the same way to two people or the same person if they ask it twice?
Yeah, I think that's going to be the first one when they give you two different answers to the same person.
Totally. Yeah. So, like, what's my template going to be? How do I do it quickly and efficiently? Like, those are big questions that tech is a great solution for, by the way. But if you're not thinking about it,
interesting questions in there, though. I mean, the answer could be different year over year, but they're going to come back, and you're going to have to explain. Not just the first time's the easy one. The second one's going to be like, well, so it's changed. So and so left, and this changed. Like the numbers are going to change. Our data source changed. Like stuff changed. And how are you going to communicate all that? So I think it's going to be super tricky.
Yeah, I think that's the lump of coal.
For me, it's going to be the expectation on analytics. I think because of AI and all the hype that you've mentioned around it, and you can do all this stuff magically by putting it in there, the underlying premise is that all the job architecture, all the data, everything's good and consistent and predictable. And we've gone up and down with the economy. And so how do you use predictive? Because predictive analytics are the thing. And they're asking people for this. And to me, that's kind of the lump of coal, this expectation that you're going to be able to provide this, crystal ball thing. And as I've said all the time, if I get a crystal ball, I'm not in comp. Like
that's right. Same thing. There's a lot less stressful ways to retirement than.
Yeah, I'm using my crystal ball for other items, not predicting compensation. So to me, that's this expectation of what's out there not being grounded in reality. I mean, and we saw it again, going back to when the internet came, it's going to change everything in supply chain, and everything's going to be different. And unemployment's going to be 20% because no one's going to work. And here we are, it's not, and expectations are set so high, which I think has kind of been a theme of this of we're going to have this big transition year that's out there. So
yeah,
which makes it exciting. I'm excited. I know, a couple episodes out from here, we will have Brian Briscoe on, which I'm not 100% sure I'm going to be, between the two of you on here, we'll be super productive, but
just let him talk. Just let him do his thing.
Yeah, well, he's a lot smarter than I am, so we'll let him just chat. But I think we'll spend some time on our prognostications more so for the next year. But I think that this was great. So mostly, learning a little bit more. That was my first speed round.
Yeah, it's tough when the tables get turned on you, right?
I know it is interesting. They're easy questions, but you're like, I don't know what they are.
Yeah.
So,
Some you're like, oh yeah, this is an easy one, and then
well, by
sometimes,
now, now we're just catching people out who haven't listened before because usually two or three are the same. So, at that point,
yeah.
yeah,
But a holiday hang, it's got to be a little bit more holiday-esque, right?
yeah. Um, all right. Well, I appreciate everyone tuning in. Obviously, you have questions. If you think we're wrong or you have other lumps of coal, check. Feel free to drop
Let
us
us
a
know.
line. I'm super interested, and then give us a follow. And Merry Christmas, dude.
Yeah, absolutely. Same to you. Same to the family. Hopefully, you get a little bit of a break. I think listeners will find, or listeners, watchers, whichever you are, you'll find there'll be a couple of gaps in our schedule, just as we don't talk to each other and we actually talk to our families for once.
Yeah.
So that's to be expected this time of year.
But
But
then I'll be looking forward to talking to you after that much time talking to the family.
oh, for sure, right? It's when does the year start? It's as soon as I can get them out of the house. Then
Yeah,
let's get back into 2026 mode. That's for sure.
that's right. All right, man. Happy holidays.
Same to you. Thanks, Sean.